Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Kimberly Maska here, and today I want to touch upon a quick topic about spiritual coaching. A lot of times people will say, well, what do you mean by a spiritual coach? Like, what exactly is that? And I want to be clear by the first thing I'm going to say is that spiritual coaching is not life coaching. There is a difference. And I want to just talk quickly about why that's the case, because it's important to define our terms, because a lot of people say, well, I'm spiritual, or I have intuitive abilities, and whatever their different modalities may be, but they may say, but am I really a spiritual coach? So what exactly do I mean by a spiritual coach? Let's start there, because this term really does get thrown around a lot. Frankly, anybody can say I'm a spiritual coach, just no matter what they do. They could be doing a tarot reading, which is amazing. There's nothing wrong with that, but maybe that's kind of all they do. And so I wouldn't call that spiritual coaching exactly. And so I want to get really clear on what this is, that depending on your modalities, you're all doing amazing things. And are you tapping into source? Of course, you're tapping into source in your gifts, but a spiritual coach is a little bit different. So let's get clear on what that is, because again, there's no standard. The term gets thrown around an awful lot, and there's no standard for spiritual coaching. And because there's no standard for spiritual coaching, it really gives the whole idea a bad rap. And that's why we get all this, oh, you guys are just woo woo and all of that stuff, right? We've all had that low vibration type comment come towards us. And so it gives us a bad rap because there really isn't a standard for what it means to be a spiritual coach. And the reason why we get a bad rap too is because not everyone who claims that they're a spiritual coach is living in integrity with what it means to be a spiritual coach. And being in spiritual integrity is incredibly important. Another phrase no one talks about, I don't hear anyone talking about, let's be in spiritual integrity. It's incredibly important though. So what is a spiritual coach? So again, I started off saying is that spiritual coaching is not life coaching. And the distinction needs to be made. Now, life coaching is lovely. There is nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. And there's a time and a place for it. But spiritual coaching is so much more. It is this deeper connection. See, a spiritual coach is unique. By my definition and how I show my clients to step into that role, a spiritual coach is unique. And it gifts to shift someone's consciousness. This is the big thing. They're shifting someone's consciousness and they're creating a transcendent experience. The shifting consciousness is the big piece to think of. Yes, we can be helping people, shift their lives. We may do a reading for them. They get a new aha. We may do some healing for them, and their healing process is accelerated and they start to feel better. But the shifting consciousness is what really changes the vibration of the planet. And so that's what a spiritual coach is really working with someone on, is shifting their consciousness by transcending and transmuting the beliefs that are holding them back. So an individual, we all have what I call a glass prison of the beliefs that we've been either handed down or conditioned into us, all of that stuff. These beliefs we've been carrying around create this glass prison. And this glass prison, we can see all the things we desire on the other side, but we can't quite reach for it. We're like, oh, I can't get that. The business or the clients or the abundance, whatever it is, we're looking, relationships, we're looking and we can see what we want, but we can't get there. And the reason why we can't get there is because we have this glass prison that we've created around with our beliefs and all the conditioning, all the fears, all the worries, all the self-doubt, all of that creates this glass prison. And so when you're working with a client, you can help them in little pieces, but unless you're shifting their consciousness, which is the breakdown of those beliefs to then create a transcendent experience, you can't really shift their 3D reality. So a spiritual coach helps someone break down those beliefs and come back to the truth of who they are, this infinite, powerful being. That's what a spiritual coach does. And at the end of the day, a spiritual coach reconnect someone with source, God, source, infinite intelligence, the universe, whatever the word works for you. But that's what a spiritual coach does. You create this transcendent experience for your clients. You break down the beliefs that have been holding them back. You shift their consciousness. And then they come out on the other side a whole new person, connected with source, remembering who they are, the truth of who they are, which is an infinite, powerful being. And that is what it means to be a spiritual coach. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you all soon.